Zippity doo-dah, beautiful day, great to be alive. Hey, what's up everyone? This is Chris Brown here again. Now today I'm filming this video from the Polynesian Resort here in Walt Disney World. On today's video I'm going to show you just this real little cool little website. It's a little piece of software, it's a website, and it's going to add, on average for most of you, it's going to add about another $8,000 in revenue throughout the year for you. Now some of you are going to do way better than that, and others of you are going to do not quite so good with that. But on average, the research shows that it's going to add another $8,000 in revenue to your business. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and take you to my computer, show you how this works, and that way you can start using it and start generating some more revenue for your business. So come on with me. Okay, so what we're going to do here today is we're going to look at Yelp and different type of websites that do what Yelp does. And you may have heard of places like Angie's List and places like that as an example. Google has their version of it. Yahoo has their version. There's a number of them out there. And what these websites are, if you're new to all of this, these are review websites. So what a client will do is they'll come to a website like Yelp and they'll be able to see different comments and reviews that people have made about some of these different businesses. They'll give them 1 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, give them some sort of a grading, a ranking on that. That's going to help you. I'm not really big on these review sites. I like the reviews. The reviews are awesome. It builds credibility. That part I like about it. What I don't really like about it is that it's a directory. It's basically like the modern equivalent of the Yellow Pages. And why websites like that or directories aren't really so good is because they don't really give you anything to sell yourself with. What makes you stand out and to be different than your competitors, and they don't really allow you too much the tools to say too much about your business and to really show and to demonstrate how and what gets you to stand out beyond your competitors. So that's one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of websites like Yelp and Angie's List and places like that, because it doesn't allow you again to stand out. Now what I do like about it is the reviews. So once you've collected a lead, then it's really nice to send people to Yelp and show them, hey, this is what other people have said about us. That's public relations. That's how to use Yelp. But what we're going to do here in this video is we're going to compare Yelp and companies like what Yelp does and compare them to some of these other advertising avenues, Google and places like that. So let's start off with the free advertising. Now, free advertising on Google, you might be listed on Google, but if you're on page 2, you ain't got any money. Nobody's going to find you. Of course, they have some free stuff that you can utilize, but that takes skill to make money off of Google from the free stuff. Really, the only way to make money on Google is by paying them for advertising. So, but let's look at Yelp. Now, let's go ahead and switch to the next slide. And so Yelp has a free listing. And there was some research done by this Boston consulting group, and they found out that the average business on Yelp yielded an additional $8,000 in revenue. So if you go to Yelp, it's yelp.com, YELP.com, sign up as a business, you're going to generate on average about an additional $8,000 in revenue. Now, because of the 80-20 rule and some other things that we're going to talk about later in additional videos, that average might not be your average. Meaning that's the average. $8,000 is the average, but there might be some of you that will make a whole lot more than that. Others of you might make a little bit more, but when you take all the business out there and combine them together, you're making $8,000 a year in additional revenue. So you are going to make more from it just by having the Yelp listing. Now, there's also a paid advertising section of this as well. We're not going to talk about that as of right now. We're going to talk about that here in the next few minutes. But the way that this works is you go to Yelp and you make little suggestions, and you talk about your experiences with the companies, and you want to encourage your current customers to express and fill out your Yelp page and give Yelp their feedback about your company. So when people start doing research on you, and then when you want to send some of this stuff out to your potential clients, that's going to really help them to make a buying decision to do business with you. Now, what they have found out, as you can see here, you got 5 stars. So for every star that you have, it's going to, or an increase in stars, it's going to increase your earning revenue about 5 to 9% is what they found out. I hope you don't have 1 star. At least you should have like 3, 3.5, 4 stars. That's a good business. I got 5 stars right now, but that's right now. I might get other customers that aren't quite as happy with me, and hey, but anywhere from about a 4 to 5 star is really good. 3.5, there's kind of getting to be a little problem there. So maintain a 4 to 5 stars. You're doing a really, really, really good job. And sometimes there's just people who will complain about you just to complain about you, just for no reason at all. So that's why I say that maybe somebody might not like me, and somebody might not like you. They just, maybe you did a good job, but you just did something that ticked them off. They might write a bad review on it, but that's only one person. You have an overwhelming amount of people who are writing reviews. That one guy isn't going to impact you. But still, people are going to go to these sites to do research on you, okay? Now, one of the things that you can do on these websites to get yourself to stand out and to be different is to collect the leads. That's not what most people are doing. Most people are just advertising their listings, getting people to look at their Yelp listings, and it just says, here's what I do, here's how long I've been in business. There's nothing to really set you apart and to stand out, be different. So what we suggest you to use is to use a smart, our term of it is a smart website, because a lot of you are familiar with what a smartphone is. You might have a website, but you might not have a website that is designed to make you money. A lot of the websites that a lot of the small businesses that we speak with use, it is all that it does is it just, again, lets people know what they do. It's a postcard. Using a smart website, a landing page, a squeeze page, is specifically designed to generate a lead, and that way that you can demonstrate to them what makes you different and what makes you stand out. Now, it's also going to help you to sell more. We've talked about this in some of our previous videos, and we'll talk about this more as we continue. We're not really going to spend too much time with that as well. You could also put a picture on there where you could go ahead and collect a mobile subscriber as well. So we want to collect emails, we want to collect mobile subscribers. You've already received videos on this already, why that is so important. Now let's look at the paid advertising revenue on Yelp. So again, if you have a free listing on Yelp, it's you're gonna generate an additional, on average, about $8,000 a year in revenue. But if you spend money on advertising, use their advertising services, the research shows that you're gonna make a total of about $23,000 if you advertise on them. Well, the prices on average, what we've been seeing is anywhere from about $367 to $600 per 1,000 impressions. That is very, very expensive for the impressions. But one of the things that is different about Yelp is these people are doing the research. They're not quite ready to buy in certain cases, but they're at least checking you out, looking for they're doing their due diligence at this point. So you're going to get a higher quality of person. This is also why you want to use the smart websites and capture the leads and do some of that stuff if they're using this website, so that you can build that relationship. You can demonstrate to them what makes you different, what makes you stand out. But that $1,000 per impression, or $300 to $600 per 1,000 impressions, is very, very expensive. But again, that type of advertising is of a higher quality. Now, when we compare this to, here's a business that we were tracking. Now it's kind of small. It's kind of small to see. I found this online. You can do some research on yourself on Google versus Yelp. But this is what I found here. The blue areas is their free listings, and the yellow is once they started using the paid advertising. They're not really getting any that much benefit. Yeah, as you can see there, throughout the years, they started losing some of the results. They weren't doing as well from the free advertising, but then when they started paying for it, they're not really doing that much better as compared to what they were doing when they were using the free stuff. So that's just some things to keep in mind as well. Now, like I said, Yelp is a little bit expensive, but what we have found out here as well is that the average business is spending about $4,200 a year on Yelp, but that's only about 3% of their advertising budget. What a lot of these small businesses are still doing is they're still utilizing some of the offline print advertising methods, the yellow pages, newspapers, and not that that's not a good, valuable source. I'm a big advocate of using offline advertising as well, but you got to do the right things at the right times. Tony Robbins, he is one of my favorite. My clients laugh at me all the time because they're like, "You say that all the time," because you can do the right thing at the wrong time. To advertising the yellow pages in today's modern society, it's not that it's a bad idea depending on who your clients are, but you just can't track, and it doesn't give you the same value as using some of these other advertising resources. So what we suggest is to generate the leads offline, and then from there use direct mail and print advertising, and that's how you get those higher conversion rates. Utilize both online and offline, but it's much easier and cheaper to generate a lead in the online world than it is the offline world, especially when we consider the prices. Now, again, what they found out as compared to, by using Yelp and versus some of these other things, they have a higher return on investment when they use some of these other advertising venues. So take, for instance, as we showed you just a few minutes ago, it's going to cost you anywhere from about $300 to $600 for 1,000 impressions on Yelp, where we can do 500 to 1,000 impressions on Facebook for $5. 300, $5. What do you want? $5 sounds much nicer for us. Yeah, we're not going to get as high of results, but we are going to have a higher return on investment. Now you got YouTube. YouTube is what they have a new product out, and right now, because it's a new product, it's very cheap and very inexpensive. And we're seeing so you can run a YouTube commercial from about 6 cents to about 17 cents per view, and even some of those you can still generate leads without even having to pay for the advertising. They'll still advertise you, and I'm not talking about the free stuff. It's just that they didn't watch the commercial long enough for you to have to pay for it. And then there's Google. Now, Google's been around for a while, and it depends on which industry that you're in. If you're in like some of the financial markets, we're finding that it might cost you between about $50 to $100 just to get one person to your website. So that's very expensive. But again, if we are utilizing the Facebooks and the YouTubes and some of these other things, it's going to save us a lot. It won't be as quite as expensive. So the takeaway from this video is go ahead and claim your free Yelp listing. That's where you're going to make the benefits from it. You want to get people to review it, and then you're going to email those listings to your leads so you can see what type of results or what so you can share with your leads and your potential customers what people have experienced with you. Even I do this. I get some of my clients to review what they've experienced with us. That's why I got 5 stars right now. And then I'll email that off to some of my potential clients or people who are looking at what it is that we're doing here. And but Yelp is a great place to advertise. It's just that if we advertise in some of these different advertising venues, we're going to get a higher return on investments.
I do hope this information has been helpful. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye now.